I'm Mike Bonelli. Obviously, I think everyone here. I guess junior now, but well, number one, I want to thank everybody for coming today. Honor my dad. Some of you I know traveled far, long distances, um, taking work from your own family, taking time from your own families and work, and we do. The entire family really appreciates the outpouring of support from yesterday, certainly through today. It's been really nice to hear all these great stories and all the great stuff that all the stuff that my father was a part of. I did take some notes here only because my father's been to a lot of award banquets and hockey banquets that I've been to, and he'd always mention how long they went on and how I would drone on a little bit too long. So I wrote these down just so I wouldn't go off track. And this probably would be a good time to tell like a Norm Macdonald joke or something like that about the moth and the light, but he's much better delivery than I am, so I'll leave that to him and my uncle. So he didn't no diesel fitter jokes today yet, so we're in good shape. All right, so I want to say it's almost as if these last 2 days have really opened up the eyes that my father almost lived a double life. We've had parents, players, coaches from around Westchester and Putnam County, and friends from the hockey world. We've had a whole group of people that he's known from growing up and in the Bronx and Manhattan and all the stuff he did in the art world. And then obviously all the people we've met and along the way, I think in '77, moving up to the country. I'll never forget, I think I took the trip up here with my father to see the house when they bought it, nice big bright pink colonial up on the hill that probably only an artist, two artists could see the value of, and I'm sure the community couldn't wait to get it painted. How it got painted just white, I have no idea, considering all the artwork you see. A lot of white though in that house, but it's just basically, and then all the people in town and all the different people that we've come along the way and coming here the last couple of days has been really great. And I think he was so much to so many people in Croton Falls, from the Croton Falls coffee shop guy to a North Salem home for wayward children. I know a lot of you guys are in here that spent a lot of time in our home, and I know many mornings when my mother would wake up and say, whose shoes are these in the house, and who's eating breakfast at our table? And I wouldn't know most of the people, but because none of my friends did this, they were all Eddie and Donna's friends. So my friends never took advantage of, because they know they'd be emptying out the garage or cleaning the attic or something like that. So they didn't come over our house very often, but because we wouldn't do the work, so my mother and father would put them to labor. Certainly, and then later on, my mother and my father, became the emergency, bus picker-uppers for us. 5 minutes down the road, saying, "Hey, by the way, Sue and I are late. Can somebody, pick up the kids at the bus?" And never ever would they say no. And I think they enjoyed it as much as the kids enjoyed seeing them. My father was an incredible person, obviously, and I know everyone says that about their father, but I just want to say a couple of things of why we think he was incredible to us. He and my mother provided for 5 kids, dogs, cats, turtles, whatever else one of us would bring home. He provided for and certainly adopted. I think we became the home. If somebody had found a lost dog or found a dog, they just bring it to our house, and my father would just we'll take the dog and take care of it, and ended up being at the house forever. He was not only the best role model as a parent at sporting events, school recitals, award nights, quiet demeanor, attentive listening, and his ability to really show a genuine interest and volunteer his time, provide his talent of art, makes tons of, it's countless the amount of school brochures, logos, mascots, Lions Club, fire department, tag sales, fall festivals, and these last couple of days, if you've lost a parent or a loved one and you go through pictures and trying to put together all this stuff, it's just mountains of things that he's done that we had no idea he did, and getting the emails and the texts from people about characters he did. And I think it was, and again, I took advantage of it because it was just so easy, right? We'd have a birthday party in 5 hours. I didn't have a birthday card. I say, hey, I need you to do a birthday card for me. He goes, this is hard. I'm like, you could do it. And, he would draw it, and it would be perfect. It was like the best birthday card ever. So, so he certainly didn't help himself by being great at what he did. And actually, when I was writing this, I couldn't believe the range. I mean, Chris and I talked a little bit about his range of art, from watercolor to pen and ink to caricatures to illustrations to like this Woodstock poster, which is, so unique to find, all the little things that are going on that a lot of people would, find hard to just think about in their heads. And so what I found, he's just as good at drawing a house as actually building a house, right? So you see this guy from the Bronx, this biker, that was able to come up and literally build his own home. His molding was perfect, and the things that I do, he perfected. He was as talented with watercolor as he was with intricate HO scale models. So if you really know my father, he was a big model railroader, and his trains, I mean, they look like, literally, if you took a picture of it and put it away, it would look like a real train. It was better than a real train. Unbelievable work. He could inject an awful joke, even in the saddest situations, and it was really bad. I mean, we get dad jokes now; they're kind of in style. His dad jokes are horrendous, and usually really inappropriate. But again, he was able to. The nice thing, but he made you smile in the worst of times. The thing I love too, and the pastor said this earlier about just his artist's ability, is seeing people that you could capture. He could really capture. If any of you in the room have had a caricature done by him, he had an unbelievable ability to, really, find you in those pictures. Character drawings, he could show enjoyment. At the same time, at a fifth grade play, he could actually be at a fifth grade play and say, "Oh, this is the greatest thing in the world," as you would at a Broadway show. And I think he's, it's really definitely attentive to the moment. So he wasn't a saint by any means. I know everybody that's older know that, right? And most of the family can attest that certainly us as children pushed him to whatever limits a father could take, and tested him virtually every day up until, probably the last few days. But I know I've seen very few find ways to put 5 kids through hockey, sports, art classes, theater school, buying cars, college, more school again, and then work at all those extra jobs he took, extra work he did. Haven't seen many drop anything and everything to see his grandkids' games, exhibits, recitals, birthday parties, and more, to make himself so available to his family without literally asking for anything. Like, he never said, "Oh, can you come to my thing?" or "Can you come to my art show?" or, "Can you come help me do this?" He just he wouldn't do it. And if you were really good with him, as I was, if he was painting the house or something, he could do it, and you could do it poorly, he would just take it over for you, and he would do it. He'd tell you to leave. "You're no good. Get out of here. Don't touch the wall. Your strokes are terrible." I said, "I know they are. I need to leave. Forget it." So if I didn't think, and I know my family didn't think my father was a special person before we lost him, the calls, the texts, the messages we have received will obviously forever remind me and my family, who he was. And these are just a couple of quotes I received in the last few days. "Your father was a person with perhaps the greatest chuckle, one that makes you smile. He will be missed, and I cherish the memories. I'm a big fan of the Bonelli family. Love to all." Man, your dad was a great guy. Used to enjoy eating breakfast with him at the Croton Falls Deli. Definitely a legend. Everybody here passes their condolences along. Just wanted to express my condolences. To your entire family. He was a great man, always very kind to me and my family. It was always be great to talk to when my boys were on the ice and shoot the breeze. He'll be greatly missed. And that quote, actually, I don't know what he was doing at the Harvey School during games, because I think he just talked to parents for hours and hours and hours. So he would just sit at the glass and I think often, I probably wasn't going to say this, but a lot of times he would be talking to parents of other hockey families about how horrible this coach was up in Danbury or in Stamford, or this guy doesn't know what he's doing, and it would be most likely be me they were talking about, and he would never, and nobody never knew. Oh, that's Mike Bonelli, that's your dad, and so he was always good and covert I mean, he should have been sticking up for me, but he wasn't. So I think most of the time he agreed. I think that, like I was saying yesterday, he's the Zamboni guy, right? Which he wasn't, but he just happened to. I remember going off to college, and Bruce Osborne, who was here, was the manager of the rink, and I said, well, I don't want to lose my job if I go up to school. And he goes, well, we're gonna have to find somebody to replace you. So my father said, well, he'll only be gone a semester anyway, so I'll just take his shift, and when he comes back, and 35 years later, whatever it was, he doesn't make as good as ice as me, but he does it faster. That's for sure. Just want to express, I'm so sorry to hear about your loss. Obviously, always enjoy listening to him and talk so proudly of his children at the rink. And then this is Nancy Haggard is here today. She wrote a beautiful article on my father yesterday. Nancy's article went far beyond Harvey Zamboni days. I'm very glad it did. It's clear that he was a gifted and talented artist and always did his best to go out of his way to help others. Your dad was clearly a very, very good man, and he will be missed very much. And I could have 50 text messages and emails like this. I think there was another overriding theme in all of these notes. Ultimately, that he was a kind person who always had time to listen, hear your story, hear about your problems, frustrations, and just be a great person. And I think that the word is really available to you. Like, he's always available to you. You never heard about how sick he was, or how he was hurting or had pain, or like even the nurses, like, this guy never even calls us. Like, we just put him in the room all the way down the hall because he would never bother us at all. And it was great. We probably should have bothered him more. But we feel so grateful to have had so much time with my father, especially these last couple of weeks. We miss him so much already. We should always remember knowing the most incredible husband, grandfather, uncle, brother, friend, and dad. So thank you all for coming, and we really appreciate all the outpouring of love and support, and obviously for being here. Thank you. Good?
Yeah, no, that's fine. Is there anyone else that would wish to come forward to say something? And remember, if this isn't the right time or you're a little uncomfortable, don't be afraid to share something in the future with the family. Even if you run into them in a grocery store, it's always appreciated. And at this time, you're welcome to come forward to say a prayer for Mike. As you take leave, go to your cars. We're going to be going to Peach Pond Cemetery at 121 down in North Salem for the burial. Thank you. Yes, just you'll see Deacon Mark standing in front of him right now.